I have always said that any of us that are leaders in child protection, whether we're academics, whether we're somebody like me that trains and supports practitioners, whether it's the actual leaders within the organisation, the heads of service, the directors of children's services, or it's the government policy makers or the judges, where all of us who are leading the field, we're only as good as what the practitioner can do when they're knocking on the door of the family, when they're sitting down with the family, when they've got the young person that's in care in the car with them or they're visiting them. We're only as good as what they can do. So we can have lots of clever ideas, and people of my ilk do, but unless the workers can actually do it, and they might like the ideas, but unless it gives them some tools, some methods that they can actually use when they're seeing the families, the children, the aunts, the uncles, what we do isn't worth much. And so signs of safety is really focused on methods. And why practitioners love it is because it gives them tools to do the assessment, to talk to children, to do the safety planning, to involve networks. But then what you learn is that ultimately models don't change that much. What defines so much of what the practitioner can do is the organisation, the compliance measures they've got to meet from central government, their funding, arrangements, and just the whole culture of what child protection is about. And our default culture is child rescue. We don't talk about it much, but the underlying idea is that we can rescue this child out of the situation where they're abused, where they're neglected, and somehow transform that. But the reality is we can't. And what we've learned over the years is it's really not working. It does work for some, but overall it doesn't. And it puts the practitioner in this position where they've got to solve the problem. They've got to take responsibility for the children, rather than putting the responsibility back where it belongs, really, which is not just with the parents, but the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents, the community. And that's why I have come to this idea of belonging, because I can give you methods to do the work, but if you're driven by the motif of child rescue, you use the methods in service of child rescue. And what I have realised is that this is what a proceduralised system does. It does all these techniques, these methods, uses all these tools and ticks a box. Oh, I did a assessment. Whether you use signs of safety or whether you use structured decision making, you just tick the box, I did an assessment. But we're not thinking about our purpose. We do a child interview, or we do an affidavit for the court, or we do a safety plan, and we just tick the box, and we're not thinking about what's our purpose here. And we have been so proceduralised in social work. We're just doing things. And what I'm trying to say in bringing us back to belonging is, what's our purpose? And I am suggesting that children's services, everything we do in children's services should be in the service of belonging. Everything we do in children's services should be in the service of belonging for these children. To do everything we can to connect them to the people they belong to, the culture, the place. And even if we've got those children and young people in long-term care, what would our system look like if we did that? So we can use the tools and methods I've created with colleagues and practitioners all around the world and apply them. And I think if we're clear that what we're here for is belonging, that we will use them with much more sense of direction and purpose. And it really is a motif with which I think we can transform children's services.